Hello everyone, just seeing if the live video is really starting. Sometimes things though, but hello everyone, and for some of you it's Happy New Year, and for others in this part of the world we're coming forth to the year. Yeah, 5 just went out the window, as in live at 5 went out the window. There was a call with, I'm going to say, my wonderful, beautiful teachers in Australia. And so that kind of went on. It just went over. So Live at 5 went out the window. But here we are. And I did want to come on still because I had mentioned to bring a piece of paper and a pen. I want to go through a very, very simple exercise with everyone. And whether you're doing it now or you're doing it tomorrow, it makes no matter, because it's now, right? So the time is now, and that is really good. But before we do that, one of the things a few things that I actually wanted to talk about is it's very, very clear that, and I for the last couple of days, I kept writing these 3 initials, TMI, and anywhere kind of explored, whether it was on Health Canada or Pfizer or other things or within published research, it went on and on forever, on and on forever. And TMI, too much information for those who don't know, but the TMI, too much of it, there's a lot of information. And that, to me, even over the years and reading and learning, is it's just so confusing. And for every industry or for every area, there's this language or jargon that you have to kind of learn before you even able to understand. But it goes on and on and on and on, and you're not quite sure exactly what things mean. At least for me, anyway. I'll read it. Well, what do they mean about that? Too much information. The other thing that I want to kind of bring in, be it wrapping up the new year, because let's move forward. That's actually an important thing, is to move forward no matter the time of the year, is the perception of things, the illusion of things, in some cases that word, the games that are played, the truths, non-truths, what is truth, discerning. This is something I think as a time that more and more is to see things for what they are. That's almost, I've talked about taking pauses and just listening to something or taking something in. I'm stepping even more and more and more away from television. Radio music doesn't feel as soothing as it once did, perhaps, especially when you're a teenager and you're listening to music, singing along. But more and more, just to even listen to some of the newer stuff, for sure. The older stuff seems more pleasant, but the newer stuff, it just seems like there's a shift into feeling out of sync, not feeling right. But the illusion. The other thing is, vitamin D keeps coming up, and I'll use vitamin D as an example. Whether it's vitamin D or something else, the idea is, what are they saying about it? What are they trying to lead you into? What could the purpose be of doing that? Now, vitamin D, to me, as we think about nature, is the love. It's the sunshine, the life, the light, the love, the sunshine. That in itself is, they call it the sunshine nutrient. That's the best way to get it. So it doesn't mean that, we're getting subtle messages that vitamin D, and this has been for what seems like over a decade for me in thinking about vitamin D and being immersed in that, is that everybody who has a health condition is low in vitamin D. So it makes no surprises that, be it this particular corona, I'm going to call it cold-like, whatever imbalances, symptoms that come about, that people would be low in vitamin D. Quite often people are not passing from what we call the coronavirus. It's more passing from their imbalances, their weaknesses, their comorbidities, as they call it in the language of medical jargon, and there's always other things, their lack of desire for living, for life, the discomforts they had. And so it kind of all comes in, you know, body, mind, and spirit when we're thinking about a person's health. So it's not so black and white. There's a lot more gray. I was just saying on the call, there's a lot more gray that's been coming into vision. If you think about all the clothing, the houses, the painting of things, the cars, silver and gray. So if things were black and white before, black and white, it's almost like that's all being softened as far as the black goes, being softened to gray. And as they kind of alluded to as far as the white is the one, well, seeing the quite often you see things and it comes from corporations. They do all this good stuff, they do all this good, but behind that good stuff is really another agenda. So you know what I mean? So it's like everything's coming into gray, everything's coming to see what it is, softening on one side, seeing the things that are underneath the white, So there's this trueness, this true being in all of that that's coming out of some people more than other people, and that's kind of an important thing. What else did I wanted to mention again? I'm just kind of putting out there and imagining that January, be it tomorrow and today for some, is that it's a filling your shoes with just being truly you. And if that means you're not complying, that kind of word, then don't comply, but just being you. And that is the non-compliance, really. So January, it's falling into more and more. If it takes this time, that time, whatever, a day, a week, whatever it is, time doesn't matter. Is that you're falling more into or being more, exploding more, bursting out to more of being who you are, what you feel it, you know, true to you. And quite often we are thinking about others, and that was kind of the confusion that was coming through. And people were accepting it as, you know what's better for other people, but we don't know what's better for other people. They're on their journey, they have their purpose, and it is that blasting out of information saying, you should be doing this for others. No, I shouldn't be doing this for others. I'm living my life, and you concern yourself with your life. You do what you need to do, and understory. If that makes that you know, makes you feel better, makes you feel good, great. But in this whole, how can I say it, super weaving, rolling, diving of this event is to be true to you, is to become you, truly you, whatever that is. Could that be a little bit of philosophy? Yeah, it could be a little bit of a philosophy. Then I want to kind of bring up, and it was reminded today, and I've brought this up before, that language, and for however millennia, thousands of years ago, there's things been put into place that makes us think we are free, but we're not so free. So as Awakening New Book Club, and we went through it, but in this particular, so this is the 8th book, there's a chapter in here about, now whether I say this correct or not, chapter 6, it's called Demon Cratius, and he was a priest. And in here, in those days, as part of one of the high priests. It's a great story. I'm not going to read it now, but I would love to read it through. It is several, well, not even several, yeah, several pages only. And really, it's worth it for you to understand how in the books that we have before us, in words as a written word, is an idea of how things came about to where we are today, where we actually think we're free, but you know, we need that dollar, we need that bill, we need that currency, you know, call it fiat currency, whatever it is, to buy things. You know, the freedom has come to being able to afford, and then there's a division being on, well, you can afford more, but you can afford less, and then we have this hierarchy of people, even based on their religion or the color or what they speak. All of that, you know where I'm going with that. But let's let me see what else I kind of hear. The one thing that came up, and I know I've seen this, but I don't believe I've ever mentioned it on here, but it did come up tonight. And I'm going to capture the video, and for anybody who wants it, I'll send it to them. But that is the idea of the manipulation within medicine. Okay, so think about this particular item that's been around and been seeding the population as to be okay. It is what's going to create an immunity within our body. And that's, everybody needs that. And that was definitely put into place over the last century or two, because I know they've been around, these things have been around for a lot longer than I initially thought. So seeding the mindset, that's all you need to do to be able to fight against something that in my mind is very natural, and it's a symptom that you get. A cold is a symptom, a flu is a symptom, telling you you're run down, telling you you stayed out in the cold and got chilly too long. Like, it's telling you all kinds of things. Every symptom, the vomiting, the diarrhea, it's telling you something. And so to act upon that is where we kind of need to go. So there's a lot of information being fed to us over the years about being vulnerable, about having to rely on medicines. But this particular thing that starts with a B, that more and more is coming out, and they talk about number 3, they talk about number 4. This is where, if I had my wish for everybody, is to sit tight, is to not, even for those who have got the, these, then to continue to just wait it out. This is your choice at the end of the day, but to wait it out for the reasons I could say, but I'm not quite sure if, get more censored in the case of saying it, but at the end of the day, if I could say, sounds like blazer, but starts with R. It is, I've talked about GO before. It's like starts with oxygen, and then has an "ide" at the end. And graphics kind of is the first word. And so you have this combination being very strong, right? You've heard, if you've not read about oxide graphene, then you will understand. If you go, it's got a whole website where it's being used at, which in some ways be a lot of games, but it's very strong, supposedly the strongest material that is out there, a very thin layer of carbon, however it's put together. But things can be formed, so think of it this way: things can be formed out of things, correct? Yeah, you got a tree, you got a wood, you got something, and you get the carving tools, and you design something out of it, piece of furniture, a blade in some cases, then that can be. So if you got this very, very strong sheet, thin layer of a single molecule of carbon, then imagine that it could be formed into something, and hence a number of the adverse effects that are coming through, from clotting to inflammation within the circulatory system. And then think of, everything is so connected, the circulatory system, the nervous system, and therefore then it could rip through with causing a lot of inflammation and stuff in the various nervous system, in various areas of the nervous system, causing, as they say, with the adverse side effects. Just reading on Health Canada today, the Guillain-Barré syndrome, Bell's palsy, you've seen things where they're shaking, these kind of things, and now they're writing in them more into all of the documentation more and more. But if you go on, you'll see that those things are really tied to the cutting the inflammation. How do you get inflammation? Well, if you cut, be it man-made cut, or an accidental cut, surgery's man-made cut, any of the cutting that happens brings a lot of inflammation to that area to help it heal. But if there's too much too quickly, then you can see how that can be something else. So just wanted to kind of mention that, because that kind of came up. There's much about much that we can get into. But at the end of the day, you know, this is your moment, this moment, and it's your day, and it's you, and spend it however you like. But this gets us to the little exercise. So if you have a piece of paper, but you can answer these, you don't necessarily have to write them down. But let's, yeah, I wanted to show you my lovely little genie lamp here. So just humor me. I like to be humor me. And okay, so we're gonna rub the lamp. And what I want you to, you can close your eyes if you want to contemplate for yourself the answer to these. But let's pretend you have a lamp and you have a wish, and I'm just going to say a wish, and you rub the lamp. What is it that you would wish for? What is it that you wish for? If you could have any wish that you wanted, what would you wish for? So just take this time to, take this moment. See what you would wish for. If you could wish for anything, what would it be? What would it be? Now that we have different times, some may say a vehicle, some may say a house, some may say, relationship-wise, that way, place, travel, whatever it is. No judgment, no guilt as to what you've chosen. Just pick something if you could wish for something. It doesn't have to be, well, what would other people wish for? What's the right thing to wish for? We can just get our head. It doesn't really matter what it is. Just come up with something that you would wish for. Okay, so that's number one. So do you have that? If you're listening to this after the fact, then you could put it on pause and spend a little time. But again, like I'm saying, don't overthink it. Just come up with something that you want. You want. The next part to that is, well, how does that make you feel? So now we have to go into the lamp, the genie in the lamp granted your wish. So your wish has been granted, and what does that feel like? So come up with a feeling. Your wish is granted, and what does that feel like? What does that feel like? Some people, in a sense, will say, well, I feel happy. That's probably a common one. Happy, joyous, however you describe it, it matters. It matters not. And if you can, have that feeling. So the whole idea would be to imagine it with as many senses as you can. Imagine it, that you see it in your mind's eye, that you can touch it, that you feel it. If it's a vehicle, then you're driving it. If it's a house, you're walking into it. If it's being on a beach somewhere, you're hearing the waves, you're smelling the ocean scent, you are feeling the sand on your feet. So you're using all of your senses for this wish that you have now. You have it now. Your wish was granted. So feel that with as many senses as possible until that feeling is not an intellectual word anymore. That feeling is something that you wear on your face. You can feel it in every cell of your body. You actually can sense your physiological self being, maybe it's standing taller or sitting taller, and your shoulders down. Maybe there's a sense of vibration in your body that you can feel because of it. So again, in your mind's eye, if your eyes are closed or open, this has come true. How does that feel? And embody that feeling with all your senses, right? So now what I'm going to say to you is, as we go into 2022, much things that come at us will challenge our that feeling, that feeling of happiness. I'm just going to go with happiness. And so I'm just want to kind of give you a tool here. So the challenging, the much stuff, the people, all the things around us are going to be there. They're not going to be as tomorrow as you wake up, poof, they're all gone. we have a certain situation, an event that's happening, that's helping us to experience and learn and to grow. And I want you to bottle, have your own lamp that has that in it. So you've come up with something of a wish that was granted, and you were able to feel the of that being granted, and now you have that feeling, right? So whether you've got the truck for real, or the house, or the home, or the travel for real, matters not. Now you have the feeling. You have that feeling. Again, it doesn't have to be happiness, but whatever it is, you have felt it. Now, one of the things that can help you anchor that is to think about a situation in your life where you felt that exact feeling, right? So we've talked about something you don't necessarily have yet, but in your life there's probably a moment or a time or moments or and times where you actually had that same feeling. So remember them, recall them, write them down if you need to, draw them if you need to, grab a photo if that helps. And this is a thing that you can have with you all the time. So whether that means, yes, you're going to be watching less television, but if there are times and moments that challenge the feeling, the vibration, for thinking of energy here, everything is energy, and we're talking about energy as a vibration, and this good feeling that you brought on as a higher vibration, a lovely vibration. It's something that we're all attuning to, raising our vibration. Then just be with that as much as you can, with still not giving up living. So we're not going to stick our head in the sand or be in a closet. We're going to live and be to everything that we're kind of want to. It's like I don't not go to any store or any place because of what's going on. I just go because that's what I have to do. That's where I'm, needing or wanting or picking up or whatever. And there you go. So you just kind of be what you need and want, and just do it with ease and elegancy. But as you see, I know for me sometimes, when I read the Health Canada website sometimes, and I listen to the language of words, I mean, I'm going WTF, or the surrealness of, in the city, there's a lot more people. So it's really easy to be out and there's a lot of people around, and seeing these particular things on a 3-year-old, a 3-year-old, the mother grasping, holding, almost so close to her body, and walking, never mind 6 feet. I mean, 6 feet has extended out to 10 feet, 20 feet sometimes. That's where kind of the phrase comes in, the more the better, right? It's like, wow, I mean, that's where it can go to, no judgments, but that's where things lead to. So I wanted to do this exercise with you in a sense that, yes, we're going into a new year, making and this time that it's almost like a door frame I use with my clients, where you walk through the door frame. It's like you've left something behind. You're using something, whether it's some aha moment or some, in this case, a tool, and there can be more added on. There can be more added on, of course, but I just wanted to bring in this one. You can use this with other people. So you can write down those questions. Really, it's if you could be granted any wish, what would that wish be? Right? What would that wish be? So now you have something that you thought you're going to get excited about. It's great. What could that wish if you're granted that wish? And number 2, how does that make you feel? And most likely it's going to be a very positive feeling, unless they flip it upside down and go, but that ain't going to happen. It doesn't feel right. They can't get into the groove of it. But second question is, how does that make you feel? And the third part to it is to kind of anchor that in either a past situation, like, so where in the past have you felt that before? So have that anchor of bringing that forward too as well. Yes, your wish, but yes, also the anchor, so that you can bring this in as a blink of an eye, or if you just close your eyes for a few seconds, 10 seconds, whatever number you want to put on it, and bring that into your being, into your awareness, that feeling. And as you open your eyes, if you've had them closed, and then send that feeling out to around you, whether you're in a situation where people are not so aware of what's going on, and you can bring that in to there. You'll be lighter, they'll feel it, and you'll see how sometimes things will kind of morph because you're out of judgment, you're out of those things. But to bring that into the spaces where you find yourself, and especially very helpful when you're challenged. But why not do it in a practice in once a day? Let's just say once a day for the next 28 days. Do this practice. So once you've gone through it and you have it, then bring that into one moment of your day, one situation in your day, whether it's because you're walking around, whether it's when you're with a group of friends, or whatever it is. You pick and choose. It really doesn't matter when. It could be with nobody around. And just go through it and bring that feeling. And you'll find that over time, that feeling you'll be able to, it'll be within seconds. It'll be in seconds. You'll just bring that. You'll have that anchor, and that anchor will be just a second of your thought, which is as fast as your mind can go, just a split second, nanosecond, and it'll be there. And it'll be there, and feel it, embody it, and just, because it really doesn't matter how you make people feel. It's how you make you feel. And when you are feeling like that, it is going to go elsewhere. I remember when I first was doing my work, and I'd be standing in a place, and certain people that I knew, and they were into energy work, and they'd come up to me. This was kind of like a validation without me having to tell people. People were so in tune to energy that people were coming up to me, and I don't mean a lot of people, a handful of people over the course of, I don't know, several months or a year that was in my awareness. It was just really validation from the universe. Oh, Cheryl, I don't know what it is, but I mean, I just feel so calm when I'm beside you. Or Cheryl, I'm staying right here. I mean, this energy is really, I don't know what you've done, but, and that, was just a validation. Just made me smile inside in such a way that it was just, again, validation of raising my own vibration. And some people could see it, and some people didn't look for it. It just kind of exists. But I won't say any much more about that. I just wanted to say that. But the last thing I will mention, because you can put your comments below, is in talking to a few people recently, is the way they go into spaces, places, stores, and what they say to people when they ask them where this is. And I could tell you a couple stories, but I'm not. I'll do it next live at 5. But the idea is, what do you do? What do you do when you go into a place, a space, and you don't wear this? What do you say? Because I'm hearing all kinds of colorful stories. I mean, really, this one guy's an actor, so if Gordon's watching, and I mean, it's just interesting to hear the way people are taking the lightness of it, almost clowning around and having a little bit of fun with it. And people that are there don't know how to respond. They just don't know how to respond. And I can't say how they said the words exactly of what they said, but basically it was a bit of clowning around, and then the people don't know what to say. They just do not know what to say. Anyway, I thought that was great. So what I'm going to do is just going to leave you with that exercise. It's not really an exercise, but leave you with that tool. And really, just for the next 28 days, be it January 1st to 28th, do that once a day, however long it is. And there's no time. It could take you 5 minutes, could take you 10 minutes, could take whatever. Just, hold the feeling that you get there. I'm going to wish everybody a wonderful New Year's Eve, And for those, if there's anybody on here that's in part of the world, it's already the new day. So happy new day and happy New Year's Eve. All the best, and let's all move into 2022 with a higher vibration, however that is. So take care. Again, Live at 5 is for your better health. I can't say it any better. It's guided to do it a few years ago. Just come in here, some practical, simple information. And again, there's too much information out there. Let's keep it simple and actually go with wherever you're guided to in that respect. Really, it's for each of us to find that and journey that and have that journey. So take care. Again, Happy New Year, and we will see you again very soon. See you next year. So, bye everyone. Take care. Yeah.